We have to talk about to what extent Vladimir Putin and or Russian intelligence was involved in the WikiLeaks release of 20,000 emails stolen from the Democratic National Committee, which revealed, among other things, that the Democratic National Committee was not an unfair arbiter of the Democratic primary. We have to talk about China's interest and the big picture. And here's why this is so important. There are some who say that a narrative that Russia and Putin and China want Trump to win is being pushed by the Hillary Clinton campaign. And there are others who say, no, it might benefit Hillary Clinton, but that is a real story that deserves discussion. So let's dig into this. There is growing evidence that the WikiLeaks releases were orchestrated by the Russian government and or Russian intelligence, likely working through proxies, potentially to underline Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. We heard from Tom Kellerman, the CEO of Strategic Cyber Ventures, that, quote, this has all the hallmarks of tradecraft. The only rationale to release such data from the Russian bulletproof host was to empower one candidate against another. The Cold War is alive and well. Initially, I told you that this hacker known as Guccifer 2.0 claimed responsibility. There was some skepticism about that. Then a Twitter user named Own All the Things looked at the metadata on the documents that Guccifer 2.0 reportedly provided and found Russian signatures. Doesn't tell us anything specifically about Guccifer 2.0 or who that might be, but it does support the idea that Russia was involved in this leak. Those findings were then backed up by Dan Gooden at Ars Technica, who said, quote, given the evidence combined with everything else, I think it is a strong attribution to one of the Russian intelligence agencies. Motherboard reporter Lorenzo Franceschi Bicchieri, I have no idea how to pronounce that. I really mangled that. Bicchieri, I believe. Lewis, please. Is this any good? I don't know.
Don't ask me.
Okay.
Yeah.
A Motherboard reporter whose first name is Lorenzo, and on that I'm very confident, reportedly conversed with Guccifer 2.0 over Twitter, and the hacker claimed to be Romanian, but actually spoke or wrote in Romanian with a number of errors that no native Romanian speaker would make, which also was sort of strange. And in the meantime, it appears that some elements in China also want Donald Trump to win, not because his policies would be better for China per se, but because they expect Donald Trump would mess up so badly that it would actually help China do better competitively in the global market. The Global Times, which is an offshoot of the People's Daily in China, reports that readers of guancha.cn, which is a Chinese site focused on politics and social issues, are rooting for Donald Trump. We have to really be careful when we talk about this. And I want to play a clip here for you. Morning Joe actually discussed this issue of the Russian involvement in the hack. Let's look at that first.
You believe Vladimir Putin's intelligence agencies are doing the bidding of Donald Trump?
Well, I think that the New York Times kind of nailed where the hacks came from.
From Russia.
From agencies associated with military intelligence and the GRU. So, you know, I think that
Do you think there's
we don't
a Trump
have.
connection?
I think that we don't have information right now about that. But what we have is a kind of bromance going on between Putin and Trump, which is distinct from this leak. And we have the Republican
That's well put.
Party platform
Yeah.
moving back, saying they won't defend NATO allies. You know, so I don't know.
And Donald Trump's extraordinary.
So that's John Podesta, not exactly a great source alone. I mean, he has a professional interest in pushing this narrative. It is a narrative that helps Hillary Clinton. We should be skeptical of any voice that appears to have a conflict of interest, whether they're liberal or conservative. Donald Trump soon after responded to the growing allegations that this was in some way an interest of Russia by tweeting, "The new joke in town is that Russia leaked the disastrous DNC emails, which should never have been written because Putin likes me." The counter accusation is this is all a plot by the Clinton campaign and Democrats to attack Trump. So what do we know? We know that numerous internet security experts have said this has all the markings of Russia's involvement. And then we're sort of inferring, Lewis, well, would they do this because they don't want Hillary Clinton to win and want Trump to win because they think he would be better? Did they do this because they actually think Trump winning would just hurt the United States and would de facto be better for them? Or did they do it merely because they want to embarrass the United States by showing how they can get access to these types of things and have no political interest whatsoever? We have to be careful, but the experts say there is a lot of evidence pointing to Russia here.
I totally buy it, too. Think about how our relations with Russia worsened with Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State. I'm not sure how that really plays into all of this. I mean, how could they possibly get better with Donald Trump in office? But of course, Russia is involved in things like this. Of course, China is involved in things like this. We're getting hacked by China all the time. And I think that it is just about creating a disturbance and they can bolster themselves and they can weaken us. And that's the goal, in my opinion.
Big picture, just because a narrative helps Hillary Clinton doesn't mean it's untrue. Just because a narrative helps Hillary Clinton doesn't mean it is true. Just because Donald Trump says X, Y, or Z, or likes Putin or doesn't, or has a bromance or doesn't, that doesn't change the empirical reality, which is really what we're trying to get to here, and we will continue to follow it.